You guys ever notice that whenever anybody gets within a mouth's distance away from a microphone, they have the instinct to just deep throat it? Like, when the fuck did all of us just spontaneously have oral fixations?
Personally, as a male, I have learned to control all my homoerotic tendencies. And
Nope, not true, listeners.
This recording is actually coming from deep within my esophagus.
Yeah, we're all speaking from our guts right now.
Except I have my microphone up my butt currently, so that's what I'm recording this.
Michael's a furry, so it's like coming out like a tail.
Yeah. Hi guys. We're back.
Welcome back. I'm sure you missed us.
The Pseudoadult Podcast, episode 4.
4.
Is it?
4 is the number of the day.
4.5.
It's a special late night edition of the Pseudoadult Podcast.
Yeah, so what happened was earlier in the week, Joe and I tried to record our own podcast because we were going to kick Michael off for his problematic rant in the last episode. But then the microphones shit out on us. And then we all just naturally pointed the finger to the fact that we've been deep throating these mics and sucking
just said,
them
fuck it!
at any chance possible.
All the saliva is just causing it to short circuit.
And also, like, all the cum.
So
all
let's get this started.
Alright, so, inshallah, all of you halal boys and girls and halal queers have survived finals. Is this true? Have you two survived finals?
You have to define survived for me.
Just barely. One of my professors decided it would be hilarious to conduct a battle royale style final.
Oh,
so
very nice.
I have a little bit of some PTSD after that.
Would you like to talk about it?
You can't under the new healthcare plan, unfortunately.
Yeah, they don't actually cover stab wounds, funny enough.
It's considered a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, as in the knife pre-existed before it entered your thigh.
I can't imagine taking the blood of an innocent graduate student would be the lengths anyone could go to get to a final.
That's
why
actually
you're gonna die poor. Alrighty, so I'm of the understanding that there are some students that would not just kill for good grades, but that would break into offices through air ducts into offices for grades.
Wow,
Like-
that was that. Yes.
Are these were any of these students named Tom Cruise?
Maybe, but they definitely had posters of Tom Cruise sitting above them as they sleep for the past 15 to 20 years.
They're like,
You-
I've been waiting for this moment
You
my
guys
whole
don't
life.
have posters of shirtless Tom Cruise underneath your bed?
Of course they do. All right, so this story is coming to us from the University of Kentucky. Last week, a couple of students had the audacity to break into the air ducts in this office building at their university.
I mean, it's the University of Kentucky. There's nothing to do there besides break into air ducts.
And I'm assuming like harass minorities or something like that. And they.
Wait, University of Kentucky? That's my alma mater.
Oh yeah, what year?
1845.
That's a good time for the South. And what they did is they got into the air ducts and then they climbed like 10, 15 feet through the air ducts into their professor's office. And
Nice.
apparently this is something that they'd like done before and like succeeded. But this time when they went in there, their fucking professors were just like sitting there chilling, like drinking a scotch or.
Well, I heard that what
harassing
happened
a
was
student
they
or
got in
something.
there and it was empty, and they came back from like late night snacks.
That sounds right.
Here we actually we don't research the articles before we present them. We kind of just assume what's going on.
Yeah,
that
they-
is
they,
hearsay, and
they
I like to strike
conducted-
it from the record.
They conducted this little Russian psyop at like 12 o'clock at night, and these professors had gone off to get some food, and they came back at like 2 or whatever.
Huh.
And only to find the door to their office locked shut and some people running around inside.
Yeah, and so here's the best part, right? So then the students tried to make a fucking run for it, okay?
But they didn't go back through the air duct?
No, they didn't go back to the air duct. They fucking bolted out the door and tried to just, like, outrun them. But the fucking dumbasses weren't wearing any masks or anything.
Jesus.
So then, like...
It's your number one error. Pseudo-adult listeners, if you are going to commit what is possibly a felony, I believe.
Yeah, wear a mask.
We're not condoning this, but if you're doing it, you might as well do it right.
Were they wearing capes?
Wear a mask.
They were not wearing capes.
Oh, at least
because-
I got that right.
They were engineering students, so out of the student body, these probably were the most likely to be wearing capes.
Jesus.
Yeah, and once one of the train engineer students realized that he wasn't wearing a mask and probably was on CCTV. He went back to repent his sins to his professor.
He turned himself in.
He turned himself in.
Damn. Did it work?
I don't know. I don't know.
The professor give him like the exam and like
I believe in
the professor realized his capacity for subversive activities and recruited him to the CIA.
He said he stopped him and he's like with a hand on his shoulder. He said, "Listen, stealing the test, that was the test, and you passed."
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I think
and he was expelled.
I think in the last paragraph of the article it says that no charges have been brought up yet, but there's this grade A quote from one of the administrators that basically is like, "It really is a testament to how late our faculty works."
Yeah, that's what it's a fucking testament to. What is your favorite hobby, and why is it ensuring the unhealth and illness of about 24 million American people?
Well, you see, after years of just blatant porn use, I only can become aroused by the suffering of others because they can't afford chemo.
I heard that's actually also the only way that Paul Ryan can bust a nut. He's like just like a super like strong masochist, so he can only do it in the operating rooms of like the fucking drones over.
If you look on his face, it's just a mask of just continuous sexual frustration.
Yeah. Who do you think hurt Paul Ryan as a child?
Everyone, because he's a dick.
Yeah, Paul Ryan probably got bullied and then he just became Paul Ryan.
That's why he works out and he takes pictures of it.
He probably got bullied by like a doctor. That's why he's so fucking obsessed.
Oh yeah, or by a person dying of cancer.
And he's like, "You'll see. One day
I'll
take away your health
What
care."
if he's like a tragic character? What if like his grandpa or whatever like died of cancer and like the doctors refused to treat him, and then Paul Ryan just like was stewing for the next 30 years plotting on how to fucking destroy the system.
One
that
of these days.
Oh, anyway, so
right.
what
are we talking about?
Sorry,
here?
we weren't originally planning on like turning this into like a sarcastic rant because this actually is pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, we're about to go from sarcastic to actually pretty fucking pissed off.
Yeah, actually kind of incensed.
I'm ready.
Hashtag frankincense.
Were you happy with that one?
I was very happy with that one.
Jesus.
For those of you living under a government-subsidized wheelchair, the zombie Trump Care bill, also known as the American Health Care Act, passed through the House earlier this week.
Woo! Yeah. Wait, that's not a good thing, right?
No, it's not a good thing.
Okay.
Just like the zombies rising from the dead, this is a rotting corpse of what was already a pretty fucking shit bill.
But American senators will stop this bill, right?
Yeah, surely the good folks on the Republican side of the Senate are bound to stop this bill, which will just be the culmination of 40 fucking years of trying to make sure that nobody can get fucking treated for health care. For cancer,
for those
to pay for an arm and fucking leg, half their dick and a testicle.
Cut the mic.
It's going off script. So for our listeners who've grown up with BuzzFeed, can we do a rundown of why this bill is absolutely shit-tastic?
8 reasons why this healthcare bill is fucking awful.
Well, I believe the first article allows you to commit virgin sacrifices in the streets legally now. And if you are dying,
you get subsidies for that, right?
I believe so. That's also in there. And if you're dying from any sort of I think it's if you're the gender of female, you are no longer covered as well.
All right.
Yeah, they don't classify you as a human.
All right, so to distract Michael before he goes on another misogynist rant. So, I mean, some of the basic provisions, I'm sure, the listeners by now probably have a pretty decent idea of what it's going to entail. We're talking cuts to Medicaid. We're talking restrictions on coverage for pre-existing conditions.
Right.
We're talking about just fucking funding cuts across the board.
The most fucked up thing about this bill is the fact that cuts Medicaid, but it's tax breaks for the uber rich.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So all these cuts are being transferred up to the wealthy.
And we're talking about for the top tier, like 0.5% of the top income winners of this country.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
cuts.
that's how that stuff was funded for in the beginning, and this is just blatant class warfare.
Yeah, I mean the fucking miraculous thing is that the Republicans spent the last 2 years complaining about how under Obamacare the markets aren't a sufficient mechanism to make sure that people actually do get health care, which was, I mean, true. I mean, there's still loads of problems with actually getting healthcare and then getting healthcare that you can use because the deductibles are so fucking high. But their
also,
solution to
healthcare
it
isn't a fucking consumer good.
Yeah, other than, besides that point, which I'm sure we'll come back to.
Right. We'll circle back to that. Bookmark that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking absurd, right? So they're like, okay, like not enough people are getting health insurance. There's not the incentive to do so. How about we just fuck the whole thing up, fam?
This will be way better, guys.
Look, I mean,
trust us.
And everyone's harped on this point to no end, but the fact that Republicans' biggest concern about Obamacare was that it was rushed and they just pushed it through.
Oh yeah.
It's just completely idiotic and ironic that even Republican senators don't know what's in this healthcare bill.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like that gets to the heart of the matter. The fact that the Republicans, this has been their line for, not exaggerating here, 7 fucking years they've been on this like tirade, this crusade to just kill Obamacare. They had 7 years to come up with some kind of fucking alternative, and the best they can come up with is a bill that was clearly only started to get written in like the past couple months.
Yeah, it's fucking asinine. I mean, it honestly makes sense though because okay, think about it. It's 2008, right? Obama's running on fucking single payer. He's running on universal health care. He comes into office with a majority in both the House and the Senate with the capacity to actually push through a healthcare bill if he and his cronies desire to do so, and they fucking didn't. What did they do? They passed Romney Care instead, right? So what the fuck are the Republicans going to do when the Democrats already passed their dream of a market-oriented public healthcare program that actually does
Are you saying the Republicans got cucked by the Democrats?
I mean, like, I'm probably not going to use the word cucked because it's problematic, but, like, honestly, yeah, they pretty much got fucking cucked by Barack Obama in 2009, and that's why their fucking dream bill, after 7 years of smoking cigars in casinos and probably just throwing darts at underage hookers, the best they could fucking come up with is just a stunted version of Obamacare.
Look, it's obviously it's the Democrats' fault. It's Obama's fault. He designed the fucking healthcare bill to fail after 8 years, and this is what we're getting now. It's Obama's fault.
I mean, it's not actually wrong, really. I mean, it was a pretty shit healthcare bill. I mean,
don't get our indignation at this fucking American healthcare plan as any kind of indicator that we are in favor of Obamacare.
Yeah, it's infinitely less shit, and clearly so to anybody that gives a fuck about.
It sucks that you have
people.
It sucks that you have, by pointing out what is wrong with the American healthcare bill, you have to then defend why the Obamacare is good.
Which is why I'm not going to do it.
Right, because it's also shit.
See, and then the thing is too is what does fucking Nancy Pelosi have to say about
hashtag resist?
Yeah, hashtag resist.
We're always capitalists.
Yeah, we're always capitalists. Single payer is not an option. I mean, even though single payer healthcare is across the board one of the most popular, widely supported policies that any politician can push.
Literally done in every other civilized fucking country.
Yeah, no, well, America is actually special, and you see, American people are too lazy, too not hardworking to have a functioning public health
Why do
system.
I want my taxpayer dollars to go help a poor person who is too lazy to not stop being poor?
God forbid our tax money go to social programs that we actually need.
Look, they have emergency rooms. If they have a problem, if they have fucking cancer, just go to emergency room.
Yeah,
It's the whole deal.
Yeah, there's chemo in the ER.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Is like you can get your fucking like type 1 diabetes treated in the ER in the headcanon, mind castles of these fucking rubes
who've never had to actually deal with the American healthcare system because fucking the senators and the congressmen.
I mean, government servants always get their healthcare paid.
They get pensions, but there's literally a line in this bill that exempts them from having to deal with any of this mess.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Not only that, if you saw there was probably the best picture to sum all this fucking shit up. If
Jason fucking Chaffetz.
Jason Chaffetz.
Fuck.
Mr. I think that the poor people should stop buying mountains of iPhones before their health insurance literally rolls up like a fucking ghoul to vote on this healthcare bill after having surgery with a fucking cast on.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Chaffetz, when was the last fucking time someone got a hip replacement for $600 and then $20 a month for 4G? When the fuck did that happen?
This guy's face is incredibly punchable.
Oh, for sure.
And I would like to punch it, to be
honest.
honest.
Honestly, I fucking hope that Jason Chaffetz fires his dentist, his government-funded dentist, and just uses a curb.
He looks like a fucking chipmunk. It's fucking disgusting.
Fucking does, man. He's a fucking fool. I mean, it's absolutely fucking absurd. Like, I mean, everyone and their fucking mother saw this coming after Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, James Boner, all spent 7 years throwing fucking hissy fits over the fact that the government was actually helping the American people not die early of preventable disease.
Can you fucking believe that? That's just a disgrace.
And now, I mean, it's like the fucking culmination of just 40 years of austerity and other bullshit that has been slated towards cutting the wealthy in America's responsibility to take care of fucking the poor, underprivileged, fucking nobodies in America.
Right,
that can't afford to have anything but fucking toilet paper to wipe their ass.
This is a bigger concept. This is the GOP basically seeing their opportunity to completely gut the welfare state that was like started with the New Deal and has been building up and has now peaked somewhere around I guess
50s.
Yeah, and then they're like chiseling it, and this is them taking like an absolute fucking like just dynamite to the whole concept.
Look, healthcare is something that your government should give you. It's not something that you just fucking buy because you have the extra money for it. You should have to decide between buying a fucking house and buying health insurance.
No one's going and getting like
fucking die.
No one's going and getting recreational chemo. That's just not a thing.
Nobody's gonna be like, actually, sorry, I'm going to wait to have my broken spine or broken leg fixed.
When the markets calm down a little bit.
Once I find a price, then I will have my compound fracture dealt with. Until then, good day, sir.
Medicine and healthcare is not a fucking consumer good. You shouldn't treat it like that.
It's more than that. It's a fucking human right? You don't have to. Your fucking well-being, your livelihood, your fucking ability to not die of shitty fucking preventable diseases shouldn't be determined by fucking markets. You're a fucking human being. You don't deserve to die from fucking preventable diseases just because you have to fucking work 10 fucking minimum wage half-time jobs to even consider the possibility of buying some shitty Obamacare premium.
And for those who say that we can't afford this shit, look at like the F-15 project, like all these weapon systems that we've dumped trillions of dollars into, like the military-industrial complex, and then look me in the eye and say we can't afford.
Remember the Hindu Kush mountains never have enough craters in them. Yet apparently the same cannot be said about the brains of dying Americans.
The argument is that anyone presents that they don't want to pay for someone else's healthcare is absolute bullshit, and you should really go look up the definition of healthcare, because that's what healthcare is.
Okay, it's like when they're like, Americans are too fat, they're too lazy, I don't want me to have to insure them. It's like, okay, unless you have a fundamental misunderstanding about what health insurance is, which is literally you are paying along with everyone else, whether you're paying fucking Kaiser Permanente or the federal government, you're paying alongside everybody else under the presumption that if you pool your collective health, unhealthiness, and resources, you would get a better deal than fucking being on your own. Right. The entire idea that, I don't want to have to pay for some woman to get her, pap smear or whatever. It's like, dude, why the fuck is she going to pay for your prostate exam, It's fucking give and take. You don't just get to fucking only get into a pool with people that have the exact same health concerns as you.
It's fucking individualistic and disgusting, and it makes me ashamed that someone can stand behind that argument.
You know what the greatest fucking thing is too? Like, every fucking Republican in California voted for this shit. Like,
every
Daryl
single one of
Issa,
them.
Duncan, dumbass, dickhead, dumbass Hunter.
Full name, actually. That's his legal full name.
Yeah, he's the fail-son of Duncan Hunter. Not Duncan D. Hunter.
Are we
Duncan
talking about
Hunter.
the vaping guy?
We're talking about the vape. My fucking representative, the vape lord from East County, that is a big fan of using tactical nuclear weapons against Tehran in a first strike.
And also charting his dogs around in private jets paid for by the taxpayers.
The guy who's getting fucking prosecuted on like embezzlement or like corruption charges, vaping on the fucking congressional floor.
To top it all off, he's a gamer.
And he's a fucking gamer. Jesus Christ. Or Daryl fucking Issa, that used car salesman just fucking hack that reeks of stale cigarettes and shitty cologne. Fucking, here, we're gonna have some shitty little patronage boy and a scummy used car salesman. They're the ones that are gonna go down to fucking City Heights, go down to fucking Logan and say, actually, you don't deserve healthcare. Fuck you, eat a dick. That's like what.
That's basically.
That's fucking what our Congress is.
Yeah, if we can drill all the way down into the GOP psyche, it's fuck you, I got mine.
Yeah. It's just fucking absurd Randian fantasy that the fucking wealthy in America are actually underprivileged because the poor people that make them rich ask to not die of diabetes.
Or have their taxes, again, pay for services that we actually need and use.
Yeah,
like
no.
what is the fucking cognitive dissonance involved with? Oh yeah, you guys pay taxes, but none of that money should go to things that actually.
No. Actually, we need to kill more kids in Somalia. We need to spend more money on fucking jet fighters that can take off from a jacuzzi and hit a fucking Russian aircraft in the dick from like 10,000 miles away. Like that's pretty fucking functional.
If Trump can't go to his southern White House, then really how is the country gonna be run, guys? Come on, we need the money to afford the security in the area so that the president can be comfortable and really do his presidential duties as president.
Those big
Trump.
chocolate cakes.
Yeah, which also if you get sick from eating chocolate cakes, then fuck you. I mean, it's fucking. I mean, we literally live in an era where the CEO of an oil company is our fucking our Secretary of State. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking pissed already. Where the CEO of Hardee's is the Secretary of Labor.
The cabinet
where Betsy DeVos is the Secretary of Education. Where fucking
religion.
Or fucking what's his nuts? The new head of the EPA who spent his entire professional life just like freaking the fuck out that he can't dump uranium and fucking polonium into an elementary school.
Look, there's no clear evidence that carbon monoxide contributes anything to global warming at all.
The cabinet is filled with oligarchs.
Yeah.
It's just they're all all part of the wealthy ruling class. They're all fucking bougie assholes.
I mean, America has always been an oligarchy, but the fact that this fucking cabinet exists, I mean, it just removes any sort of distance between the people who have always had the power in America and then the people that are the fucking icing on the cake, the ones that are actually visible.
Which is how
they're
we
the
get
exact
these,
same.
Which
now.
is how we get these fucking healthcare bills, and they try and brush it off like it's nothing because, like, to them, what are you talking about? Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get some fucking healthcare.
The scary thing is that we know this information. We know who these people are and what they've done and what connections they have.
We know where they live.
And still,
nobody
people
gives a shit.
Fucking everyone's just like, oh shit, you know what? They'll take care of us. Don't worry.
And
They'll support
the
people that vote for them.
The thing is, people have been so fucking demoralized about the state of fucking America and the average people in America that, I mean, everyone already knew that people like Rex Tillerson and fucking Tom Price were running the country, so what fucking difference does it make now if they're actually the ones sitting in the chair?
Right,
they've been always the one pulling, they've been the fucking puppeteers since day fucking one.
They're just not being sneaky about it
Yeah,
anymore.
they just know that they don't give a fuck. I mean, Donald fucking Trump is our president.
Yeah,
like,
as soon as Donald Trump came out and was like, I'm president, now they're like, oh shit, we don't need this fucking curtain anymore. We can literally go out, control the government, and no one's gonna say a fucking shit. It's fucked.
It's like the fucking end of the Wizard of Oz, man.
Pay no attention to the rich billionaire behind the curtain.
Which is, I mean, he just doesn't even, they just turn the curtain down and expose their fucking nudist colony.
Welcome on back, guys. Nick, where's this next story coming to us from?
Mis amigos hermanos, this next story is coming straight out of Los Angeles, California.
My hometown.
Dude, I know that place. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, so apparently there have been city council elections up in the air in Los Angeles. And one of the emerging coalitions that's going to be defining these elections are bikers. We're talking about kombucha bikers, not crystal meth bikers. And apparently they've been all organizing around this dude named Joe Bray Ali.
The bikers are organizing?
The bikers are organizing.
Dear God. There's no help for us
how
now.
How can we stop them? Oh no.
Has someone told Trump yet? I think he should be alerted to this.
Maybe.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you both. God damn it.
Let me get on the phone. Hello, Mr. Trump.
I don't know why I do this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So Mr. Bray Ali emerged as one of the most outspoken bicycle activists in Los Angeles.
All right.
And he was planning on having all of the bikers vote as a block to secure things for bicyclists, like extra bike lanes, spacing, traffic lights. I don't ride bikes.
They're making a biker coalition.
Making a biker coalition.
That's the most pressing matter assaulting Los Angeles currently is the fact that we don't have enough bike lanes.
No, actually, it makes sense. So, if everyone in Los Angeles just rode bikes, then all of the fucking pollution in the air would just be absorbed into the lungs. They'd die within a week, and you can just, like, bury them, and then like within 20 years they'll just turn into oil. And
Someone should tell China about this.
I was about to say this is tying back to our old China marathon story.
Where we're using content, guys.
Fuck. Wait, did I use that joke last week?
No. There was last week was the story about how China's having an increase in marathon runners.
Fuck.
And then we wanted the marathon runners to inhale.
There was an obvious, Chinese government ploy to clean up their cities by using human bodies to suck in the pollution.
Well, okay. I mean, obviously our listeners know that we're not actually that funny, so we'll let it slide. Mr. Bray Ollie completely shit the bed when it turned out that he was a wolf in sheep's clothing and kind of a reactionary fucking shithead.
Drive a car?
I was gonna say, I think he drives a car.
Yeah. Well, no. But by driving a car, by driving a car, you mean post frequently on Vote, in online forums such as v/fatpeoplehate and we'll say hard R's.
For the listeners who aren't familiar with Vote, it's basically like the really shitty reactionary alternate version to Reddit. When a bunch of these like really toxic communities on Reddit got banned, like r/peoplehate and r/hard R got banned from the site, all these people like screamed free speech and they ran off to fucking Vote, which is basically like a Wild West alternative to Reddit. And it's basically just distilled, toxic, disgusting.
Yeah, so it's like so let's say Reddit is like the uranium 238. If you put it in a centrifuge and like extract all of the you put it in a centrifuge for a couple years and you take out the 235 to make a nuclear fucking bomb. That nuclear bomb is basically Vote. It's just like a cesspit of like even more like reactionary shit than like Reddit is.
Sounds like a good place.
Yeah, sounds pretty fun.
Do you post on there a lot, Michael?
I'm actually a mod. On one of those.
So in one of his enlightening posts on Vote, Mr. Bray Ollie,
the guy running for councilman seat.
Yeah, right, running for a public city council seat.
Did he use a username with his name in
it somehow got back to him.
I'm assuming it was like bicycles to like Auschwitz 1488 or something.
Bicycle Jihad 101.
Yeah, something just fucking absurd. And so this fucking shithead, I'm quoting the LA Weekly here. And one, Bray Ollie wrote that transgender people seeking gender reassignment surgery, quote, doesn't seem like something worthy of praise, but instead of being criticized as a shameful excess.
Yeah, because, like, the one, like, group of people who are subjugated to, like, the most amount of domestic abuse and, like, just police harassment.
Fucking ridiculous suicide rates.
They're being selfish, really, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, they're being selfish when they know they'll just be fucking, like, harassed and treated like fucking, like, subhuman.
How fucking dare they want to be happy?
Like, how dare they show the world how they actually feel inside instead of bottling it up?
Yeah, and this is just like one of many enlightening things he was writing on Vote, especially in hard R's.
So you could say that the bicycling has really opened up his mind to the real state of the world.
Yeah. And then after this scandal broke, the LAPD endorsed him.
Oh,
just kidding.
Don't shoot me.
So everyone fucking was like losing their shit about this, and do you guys want to know how he responded?
He apologized and immediately withdrew from the race. Right?
Hid in the bushes.
Not quite. He says, looking back on the comments, I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Okay, then he says...
And this is on a Facebook post, right?
This is on a Facebook post, right? And he says, many of the things I wrote, I didn't even believe them when I wrote them. I was trying to have an argument with racists online. I found a place where they go, and I try to spark an argument with them. Yeah, normally when I'm trying to convince racists that black people actually deserve to be treated like human beings, I resort to just slagging off fucking transgender people. It's just like a reflex. Unavoidable.
Well, you gotta make concessions when you argue with.
When I meet a Trump supporter in the streets, I just agree with him automatically and just hope that an argument just gets sparked between that sort of agreement and friendship I have now formed between that guy.
Yeah, like the way to actually fucking like tell off racists and have them not fucking ruin everything is to just agree with everything that they say.
They have a valid viewpoint.
Now listen here, my views on the Mongoloids may be slightly different, but I respect his point. Fuck you.
They have a right to say it.
You're a fucking racist piece of shit. You're fucking dumbass little fucking transphobe.
So this guy responded to a controversy caused by him posting too much by posting.
Yeah. That's not the fucking best of it, right? So instead of the apologia for his fucking racism and other just douchebaggery, he admitted several things, such as the fact that He owes $48,000 in back taxes. That he's been cheating repeatedly on his wife with his as a Tinder god. That he painted bike symbols on as graffiti.
Wait, one of these things is not like the other. Like if you're trying to equate all of these things to one another, it doesn't.
It's the cheating wife one, right? The cheating wife one is not like the other two.
Yeah, that out of all of them, that is definitely like the least.
All right, I'm just making sure I'm keeping up with this conversation here.
Yeah, here's let's quote from here. The social media scandals about a video asking why my neighbors honk their horns, me visiting racist and fat-shaming sites, a comment made about trans people getting surgery, my offensive and profane comments online, drumroll please, they are a distraction from what this election is about and not a reflection of who I am as a person.
Disinformatia.
Boom! Yeah. Remember, folks, treating transgender people as fucking human, not acting like it's fucking 1845 Kentucky. These are actually less important than your fucking bike lanes.
I mean, when we live in the age where the leader of the free world can literally say that an auto recording of him or some sort of social media post never really happened or he never really meant it.
What? That could never happen.
We should cut this guy some break here,
Sounds a bit hyper normal.
Yeah. The fucking thing is too is he says it's a distraction. Do you think some fucking mafia team just spent years digging through his history?
It's the anti-biking lobby is setting this guy up for failure.
At least he wasn't just it's just locker room banter, guys. Come on, get over it.
All right, here's another great thing. I've been called a hippie, a racist, a Republican, a bigot, a transphobe, a hipster, and all of them are correct. No.
What? Jesus.
And now you know what else is coming my way. This election is bigger than me, and I can take the hits.
He acts like he's grandstanding for I am your champion. I will reverse the corruption and the really all he's fighting for is fucking bike lanes.
He's just he's oh, you know what? I'm the one being oppressed here. I am defeating the odds.
I'm the victim.
I am standing against this oppression.
I mean, if he just lived out his autofellatio fantasies and just shut his fucking mouth and stopped talking, he would have done a fucking better job than any of the fucking shit
I would have voted for him.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
Well, now we're out of some bike lanes. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, fucking
did. It's actually kind of fucking weird how Los Angelinos really can take their bike lanes super fucking seriously. Back a couple years ago, there was a full-on controversy about the color of the bike lanes.
Why?
Well, because they were painting them green, and because Los Angeles.
You guys were side yellow, right? Right?
What?
Side yellow? I was on you have to paint them yellow so they're more obvious for traffic. Green is not the correct color. Are you guys on the green side here?
Well, green's not a creative color.
Well, obviously, green's not a creative color.
But yeah, they fucking basically the film industry threw up a fucking tantrum and hissy fit because it would make their jobs green screening. When they were trying to film on the streets of Los Angeles, it would make green screening harder because you have this bike lane suddenly that's green as well.
Thanks, James Cameron, you fucking cock.
Yeah.
Guy's a dick, man. Alright, and we're back.
Alright, folks. Another serious topic, which is pretty weird since we noticeably like to talk about, ironically, internet things.
Thanks for bringing up, really important topics. Have you guys seen meme economy recently? I think it's pressing facts here. We need to discuss the downturn in price of memeage.
Which meme exactly?
Yeah, which meme?
All of them.
I think
the meme market is
the meme market is
in a
crashing.
depression. No, I think the meme market is stronger than ever. We have the fucking ironic SpongeBob meme going around right now.
Oh yeah, dude, that meme. Okay, that meme is fucking brilliant because it can be used as a defense of itself, right?
Right. It is a self-defending meme.
Yeah.
This is the first of its kind we've ever seen.
It's the fucking Russians, man.
The memes are getting smarter.
Yeah. Speaking of the Russians, James Comey.
Comey 2012.
Yes. James.
The FBI is with the resistance.
Right.
What about James Comey? How is he enjoying his office as director of the FBI?
I heard he's like actually not enjoying his office as director of the FBI anymore.
What? What happened to him?
A fucking shit can.
Oh, dude, he got.
When did this happen? I was not informed at all by any of the media outlets.
Yeah, it probably wasn't on the news or on everyone's fucking like Twitter feed or anything. But yeah, let's have a chat about it, guys.
So,
he mishandled emails. What more is there to discuss?
Well, so listeners, we're recording this on Friday night. So
Yeah,
at
Friday,
this point,
May 12th, the year of our Lord, 2017.
At this point, Trump has taken at least 3 different stances on why he fired Comey. At first, it was like, I fired him because of how he handled the email investigation. And then he changed it to like...
Alzheimer's.
He changed it to like, I was always going to do it. And
yeah, he was just like waiting for the right opportunity.
Right, and then he changed it to like... No, he never actually
He's
said
waiting for the right opportunity. That's a word in Chinese culture. Crisis and opportunity is the same word.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking rad.
Right. Yeah. So and also of course like what all the Democrats are taking like him saying like I was always intending to fire him is they're being like, oh, he just admitted he's firing him because of the Russian investigation.
Now,
Yes.
hold on there, Eager McBeaver.
So-
that doesn't sound right to me.
All right, so I just want to get like a brief rundown so we're on the same page about
Right.
what's going on, right? So the original story was that James Comey, about 3 or 4 days before the election, right, was announcing that the FBI was going to reopen an investigation to Hillary Clinton's emails to see if there's anything there. A lot of people freaked out, so this is like fucking bullshit timing, and then blamed that as one of the reasons why Slay Queen lost the election.
It was the main reason, in my opinion, I think.
Probably.
That and all those hacked ballot boxes.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Thanks, Russia. And then, so things kind of died down a bit, and then it was Comey was returning into the spotlight. It was, leaked that allegedly he was hiring a task force to up the investigation
Right.
into the connections between the Trump administration and Russia.
He was increasing he was increasing the staff for the investigation of like some like collusion or ties to Russia. And I guess Trump took that as a bit of a red flag that the heat was on.
Yeah.
And then Trump was like, what can I do to stop this? And
just
everyone
fire
was
him.
like, everyone was just like, you probably shouldn't. And then Trump's like, I'm the president.
See, the funny thing that a lot of commentators have pointed out is that this bodes really poorly for the Donald, because like either he knew that this is going to cause the fucking shitstorm that it currently is, and he thought it would be the lesser of the two evils of having Comey continuing the investigation, or he just fucking didn't even like stop to think that this would pretend poorly when the American populace largely believes that there might be some dubious connections between him and some sort of, I don't know, like sinister cabal of Russian oligarchs.
He's like we've said he's a man-child before, but this is basically like the kid who knocked the cookie jar off of the counter and shattered it into pieces, and he thinks that by like pushing it under like a rug is the thing that'll fix the situation.
Look, and I think very concretely that this is what he thinks, that this would have solved the problem, because when this happened, when it came out that Comey was fired, a lot of, aides to Trump, a lot of the people around Trump said they had no idea that this was going to happen.
Yeah, even Comey didn't know because he was in LA when it happened, and he was talking to some FBI people, and he had a TV on in the background.
He thought it was like a fucking joke.
He thought it was a fucking practical joke.
So this makes me think that it was just Trump thinking, fuck it, I'm the president, let me do this, and he did it. And that just blows my fucking mind that this man...
It blows everyone's fucking mind because they've like held up this office of the presidency as like this fucking powerful position that's full of honor or whatever. And Trump is the first guy who's gotten in there and being like, oh, you mean I can just do whatever the fuck I want? All right.
So let's take a step back here. So let's summarize what exactly is being investigated by the FBI and what Comey was supposed to be heading that led to his shit cannon.
So, as far as I am aware, the FBI was investigating if during Trump's presidential campaign there was any sort of involvement with Russia, where
Right,
so
and
involvement being like financial aid, some sort of like campaign aid against Hillary.
Specifically, we're talking about his top aides talking, like physically going to Russia and talking with Russian agents.
Right,
and
colluding with a foreign government.
Exactly.
But
and
colluding on what though? So that's my real question. Right?
I believe they were talking about, there was talks about lifting sanctions against Russia, as well as there's like the more farther out idea that they were going to hack the DNC.
Yeah, so
I think sorry, I'll let you go ahead, but just as far as that's going, it was more of just like the idea that Russia came in to prevent Hillary from taking office and putting Trump in as a figurehead so they would have more control over American politics.
So let's just address the sanctions issue here first, because I feel like that's a lighter one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if it is that we're just investigating to see if they were talking about relieving sanctions prematurely, I mean, it's a no-no. I mean, maybe you could just paint that on Michael Flynn, fire his ass, and move on. I mean,
right.
To me at least, that really doesn't seem like too much of an issue.
Well, see, they did, but only because it came out. Because the main issue people took with that was the fact that they lied about it occurring. They didn't disclose that Michael Flynn talked to the Russians about lifting sanctions, and so that's why his head rolled, was because people found out about it.
Sure. But that in itself, the act of lifting sanctions against another country, that
right?
Really
It's not treason.
Itself, yeah, it's not like, not really treasonous.
In bird culture, it's called a dick move.
Solid. And then moving into the elephant Republican joke, elephant that's been in the American public consciousness since those DNC emails were pinned on Russia. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say this, but I think the idea that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin colluded to hack into John Podesta's emails and get Hillary Clinton elected is kind of fucking absurd. Okay, think about this. Riddle me this, right? So why on earth would anyone fucking bother to trust Donald Trump with the act of hacking into and destroying an American democratic election? Like what's the fucking point, right?
Well, the interesting thing is the Russians only can gain by not issuing a statement on this, because the benefit from the situation is already given to them, because the trust in the American system has already been destabilized.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes. So they also back to the tax returns thing. Do you think there's going to be a memo in Trump's tax return that's from Vladimir Putin XOXO
Russian bribes.
Here's for those. They're expecting
well, the tax returns it's a different issue, and I feel like those are still important though, because those would highlight where his business interests are.
But I think the idea is though that Donald Trump's fucking tax returns are going to be some college student's Venmo account. And thanks for hacking those elections, Vladimir XOXO.
There's not going to be a clear evidence that he paid off the Russians to hack into the DNC.
That's the thing. But that's the thing is though. That's exactly what people fucking believe.
Right, because that is the problem Americans have. Most people have, because it's a human condition, is the fact that we're grabbed by really catchy fucking headlines. Yeah. So what do you think is going to draw views? The real sexy banner of the Russians hacked our elections, democracy is ruined, or the fact that Donald Trump probably gave some money to some Russian oligarchs, and so they might have some incentive to help him a little bit.
Yeah,
but we're not actually sure. Which do you think is going to move traffic? Of course, it's going to be the fucking hacking one. Yeah. So that's the thing everyone goes with.
And the thing is too, if Russia was going to go through all of the effort to rig an American election, why the fuck would they obviously be playing host to all these Donald Trump aides and advisors?
Right.
You think that if there's going to be the efforts to rig a democratic election, they'd at least do the CIA route and then not announce it until 50 years after the fact.
All right, now if I may, I'm going to jump here as devil's advocate. All right.
Oh boy.
Fuck off. All right, we are looking at a more aggressive Russia, right? Can we agree that Russia in the past few years? We're looking at Ukraine. We're looking at Syria right now. They're making more political moves geographically, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So we have an upcoming election in America. What would benefit Russia more? Throwing the American government into chaos by putting this autistic man into power, or having Hillary there, who is competent?
Well, we're not necessarily saying that their goal was to put Trump in power. We're saying that their goal was to make it seem like some shadiness went down.
Other than that too, we're also talking about not just did Russia try to hack our elections by or rig our elections by releasing sensitive emails. The question that everyone's really been asking is, is Donald Trump involved in this?
Oh yeah, is he aware of it?
Yeah, is Donald Trump's staff connected to this supposed Russian plot? So we have to prove not only that there is this Russian plot to release these emails to influence the elections, but then also that not only did that happen, then also Donald Trump's campaign advisors like Paul Manafort and Michael Flynn were in on it.
Now, to take on the other hand of the issue, I was, as the listeners can probably tell, I've always considered the whole Russian connection as somewhat of an excuse by the Democratic Party not to own up to the colossal mountain of mistakes they made during the 2016 campaign.
But 2020. Sorry, go ahead.
But with the firing of Comey, it almost kind of, I want to say, gives credence to the idea that there could be something bigger there.
Yeah, it is fishy as a fucking fish market.
Because, if this really was just the Democrats grasping at straws not to change the platform of their dying fucking ghoulish party, then Trump wouldn't have invoked this fucking hellstorm involved with firing the director of the FBI, which he did. So that the indication there is that whatever he was looking into was possibly bigger than whatever rain of shit would come down after this.
I mean, I mean, I think from a romantic point of view, that would be awesome. That after this, there's more investigations, and we find out there's.
Well, no, it's not that there would be more investigations. Is that whatever was happening was this big thing?
Yeah.
That he was afraid was going to get out. So what is that thing?
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's one way to look at it, and that's like something that we can all be really fucking excited for, and maybe there's a chance of that happening. But again, I think also the fact that it's a really high possibility that Trump is fucking stupid, and he just did this thing because he thought it would fix the problem, and obviously not. It didn't fix it at all.
Yeah, I mean, we also have to remember that this is the man with the mental capacities of an angry 6-year-old. I mean, it's just entirely possible that he, like Joe had said earlier, just intended on firing him for a while and then just got bored one day and decided to do it.
That's the annoying thing about this administration is that Trump has time and time again demonstrated he is suffering from the early on stages of dementia, that it becomes impossible to tell if he's actually doing something because he thinks it's the correct political move or because he is just so riddled with syphilis he has no idea what is happening.
I mean, it's fucking fantastic too. I mean, we're not even 4 whole months into the Trump presidency.
We're on day 106.
We have over 1,000 more days to go of this bullshit.
And we're already on people levying accusations of Watergate levels of fucking cover-up.
There is literally every single fucking news outlet I go to, they have a rundown of what is involved with impeaching a president.
Yeah, no, I was fucking listening to NPR the other day, or the past week, and I swear to God, every fucking person they bring on is just another analyst describing how exactly they can impeach Donald Trump.
Because they have a running tally at this point. On Vox, there are 6 things Trump has done that could get him impeached.
Here at the Pseudoadults, we are going. You guys can go check this on our website that we don't have up yet. But we're going to crunch the numbers, and we'll tell you guys how many more days it's going to take on average for Trump to fire his entire cabinet.
John Silver tells me it's 75%.
Okay, so also another thing too. Do you guys think Spyro Agnew looks like Mike Pence at all? This is Nixon's VP that had to bite the bullet for the Watergate.
Mother of God, they have the same forehead to face ratio.
They do have the same forehead to face ratio. Holy shit! I mean, it's fucking rad, honestly. All this shit.
I'm enjoying it, man. I'm loving winning so much.
Maybe it's just because we're millennials that we've got that hashtag irony and
we're
ironic
protected
distance.
by 6 different layers of meta and irony.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
we grew up on dank memes. This doesn't phase us.
This is just more fodder for the meme machine.
I mean, it's fucking great seeing all of these just not necessarily conspiracy theories, but presuppositions we had about just the pure, just sinister nature of all these people in power, and it's just all coming to the fucking fore.
Well, it's pretty cathartic because you talk to most adults and they're like, oh yeah, in college I was really cynical. I thought the world was just the worst thing in the world, and it's kind of.
Did you have Trump as president? Did you have Trump as your president?
It's kind of redeeming that we are at that age now, but everywhere we look, our fucking viewpoint is getting validated. Yes, the world is fucked up. Yes, the people in power are fucking stupid. And yes, the system is corrupt.
Yeah. And Fuck me up, fam. I don't even like know what to say anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean,
there's nothing good that comes out of any of this, right?
We've been ranting for a solid hour at this point, and there's just nothing that we can say besides the fact that
the summary of this is just fuck, right? Like, okay, what good can come out of this?
Memes.
Memes. Okay, other than memes, I mean, okay, look, let's look at this. So maybe Russia independently hacked some DNC emails to try and influence the election. Okay, that's bad. Maybe John Podesta's just a fucking idiot who fell for a phishing scheme. Also fucking bad.
That would be the best. That would be the best.
Yeah. Maybe fucking Rex Tillerson was teaming up with some of his bros over in Russia to help release some sanctions.
To get his homies in Exxon a little more dollars.
Maybe less bad, but also not good. Or the worst fucking of all is that Russia did in fact try to influence the elections, and then the fucking president of the United States and his cabinet was involved in it. That'd be just fucking atrocious. Like,
yep. Yeah, I think that list is pretty. I'd actually add maybe like a part where we just fuck the planet so hard that we can't reverse the effects, and then we all die in like a tsunami.
Well, that's coming down the tunnel, but we haven't really gotten there yet.
We're dealing with this shit right now.
Come on, that's like at least 5 years from now.
We're dealing with the shit shoot.
I mean, we're in San Diego. We're on a hill, so that'll be like beachfront property in a couple years.
Yeah, dude, it'd be like a fucking bay. You can be like a kayak shop set up.
We can
the canals of San Diego.
We'll watch people drown for sport. That's gonna come up soon.
That's also Rex Tilerson's favorite hobby.
Drowning is a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, it's from the Pinochet Center for drowning research.
Do you think all the drug dealers in the Philippines are just learning how to swim really fast?
I hope like all the fucking Olympic swimming pools are just filled up with all these narcos like over in fucking Philippines.
Let's end on spicy.
Jack Spicer.
Let's end
Jack
on
Spicer.
Jack Spicer.
Spicer.
So our buddy Jack Spicer went looking for some Shandong Wu in the bushes of the White House.
This is my favorite story of the week. I know there's been a lot of shit going down this week. Favorite story of the week was Jack Spicer couldn't take the media heat, and he ran into some bushes to get away from everyone, and his aides literally had to like wall off the reporters.
You know, he was just in the bushes with his brown paper bag screaming into it.
He was composing himself before he had to walk out and talk to the reporters.
Yeah, about because this was on Friday, because he had to answer all the questions about fucking Comey.
Jesus, dude. And the best part is now that people are printing out pictures of his face and putting them in bushes.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
It is the best thing I have seen.
And not only that, he had to make it, because, this is the complex of Sean Spicer. He had to make it worse for himself. So, like, the Washington Post posted a story about how he was, quote-unquote, hiding in the bushes from reporters, and his fucking press secretary literally made them redact the statement and change it to say he was next to the bushes, and then they posted this fucking passive-aggressive ass correction tweet that blew up on social media even more. It's just like a classic example of the Streisand effect.
I'll tell you what, I did not walk into the party, scream fucking normies, and throw my shoes at some random kids. I walked into the party, I screamed "Ree," and threw a shoe, not my own, at a toddler.
Sean Spicer is hemorrhaging. He can't take it anymore.
Can someone check on him?
Dude, he's gonna have a fucking brain aneurysm. Holy shit.
Either that or during a press conference. He's just gonna hit the podium.
Oh my god. Holy fuck.
And then other reporters will be like, Sean, what are you doing, Sean?
Dude, he probably has to fucking take so many fucking opiates to just keep his blood pressure down.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, I'm surprised he hasn't fucking bust a fucking artery yet.
Sean Spicer's on suicide watch.
Man.
24/7.
I mean, obviously he's a fucking cretin, but geez, he's like just the fucking whipping boy of the dumbest man to ever become president.
On the other hand, it's hard to feel bad for the modern equivalent of Goebbels.
I thought it was Kellyanne.
That's actually more accurate, yeah.
What's she up to lately?
She just they reanimate her whenever there's like a really big controversy. They like pull her out of like the White House basement, like give her like a couple like squirts of water so she like puffs up a little bit.
I heard they're using like unicorn blood.
And then they like just throw her onto some whatever fucking 24-hour cable news network needs her at that point in time.
Do you think Sean Spicer has fidget spinners?
Oh, those are the
little spinning things. Yeah, he has there's like 5 of them. And just like spins them.
He probably has like a fucking Rube Goldberg machine in his fucking house of just stress relief objects.
It's just, he's gone through like 6 different like punching pillows at this point. His entire house is just filled with feathers.
Oh my god.
We should bring Sean Spicy on. That'd be a cool guest.
He wouldn't answer any questions though. He'd be like, "Hey, so Sean Spicer, what's your favorite meat?" I have no opinion on that at this current time. I can ask the president what he thinks about memes, but other than that, I have no further comments.
Hey, sit down.
Can you imagine what happened if like Sean Spicer went on the Joe Rogan Experience and just got fucking crossfaded?
Oh my dude, then he might fucking loosen up a little bit. And the stories he could tell us, holy shit.
Oh my
he would.
god.
I feel like he would be like.
like
he would be like that character on The Office that they like shit on like.
Toby?
Yeah, or not? Yeah, Toby. Whatever one they like shit on for like the whole fucking show, and then eventually he gets loosened up and he just like goes off on fucking everyone. It's like, no, fuck you, fuck this shit. I'm out.
Goddamn.
Sean Spicy, guys.
I'm waiting for like the
Jack
Sean
Spicer.
Spicer. I'm waiting for the Jack. The video I want to see is the Jack Spicer blow up video when he finally can't fucking take enough of it, so he just takes off his shirt and drops his pants in the middle of a press conference and flips off all the press corps and walks out the door.
I feel like what is gonna happen is he's gonna be doing one of his interviews and he's just gonna like start twitching and then he's just gonna rip his shirt sleeves off, make a bandana, start sharpening punji sticks and smearing shit on it, just like setting up fucking camp in the fucking podium.
So what we're saying is that the saga of Sean Spicer can end up one of 2 ways: either he dies of a cardiac arrest, or he goes completely batshit insane.
Yeah.
I'm excited. He still has 3 3/4 more years of this.
Yeah, what's going through Sean Spicer's head right now of like, oh my god, this will be the death of me?
He wakes up and he realizes he just spent 9 hours, probably 4 hours dreaming of writing a fucking resignation letter. He sees it just like imprinted on his eyelids every time he closes his eyes.
Not even that. He has it like hung up on the wall of his bedroom. He's like, one of these days.
Yeah, it's like Full Metal Jacket, but instead of like 7.62 millimeter, it's like, I humbly resign from my office as press secretary.
You know how they compared photos of Obama like at the beginning and at the end?
God.
They're gonna do that
no.
for Spicy, but it's just gonna be sad.
Oh
What's
my
gonna happen
God.
to Trump? Trump's the oldest fucking president.
He doesn't do fucking shit.
Yeah,
Nothing's
gonna happen to him.
He is already at the after stage.
Dude.
How much more like KFC will do to
the
him?
thing is, okay, it's been what, like 50 years since the president's died in office?
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
mean,
not 50 years. What about Kennedy?
JFK, 50. Yeah, it's 50 years.
Was that
1963.
50 years ago?
54.
How
Well,
fuck?
50
Seems like yesterday.
Yeah. I remember back in the day. Good old Johnny boy.
Remember when you could just assassinate presidents?
Yeah.
Or
that bad.
there was
attempt
there
to.
was a pretty solid streak in like the late 19th century.
Yeah, everyone who got like elected like on a 10-year was got assassinated. Like the rule
Really?
of 10.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like everyone, like Kennedy got elected on like a 50.
Yeah, 1960. Yeah.
And then like Ford, like they say, like the way the conspiracy theory goes is that Ford got elected on another 10-day, but his assassination attempt got botched, so he basically broke the streak.
Damn.
Was the way it worked.
Reagan was elected.
Or yeah,
in
Reagan. That's what I meant
1980.
to say. Sorry, not
Yeah.
Ford. Ford was a while ago.
Yeah, goddamn. Well,
Yeah, so we-
wait. So 2020. Oh boy.
Whoever gets in the hot seat.
Oh,
4 more
boy.
years. 4 more years.
Last thing though, Sean Spicer will look like Emperor Palpatine at the end of 4 years.
I believe it.
Good. Yeah, I hope so. He deserves it.
This presidency has left me disfigured, but my resolve has never been stronger. Sorry, I can't answer that question right now.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like we say the John Spicer or Jack Spicer's job is difficult, but really all his job requirement involves him doing is waking up, going in front of the press corps saying, I can't answer that, then going home to drink himself into a stupor and then doing the whole thing over again.
Oh god. I feel like Jack Spicer is like the actual IRL version of Douglas Stamper, except like with slightly more social skills
Ah, yes. And not as many dead hookers.
that we know of.
Allegedly.
Yet. What if wait. What if that comes out? What if like The FBI investigation.
Jack Spicer has a body trail of dead hookers.
No,
all across DC.
You remember the alleged piss tapes?
Yeah.
What if like one of those hookers like slipped and like hit her head and died?
Oh, no.
And Donald Trump like actually like had to cover up like some like manslaughter charges for killing a hooker with piss?
What if it comes out that like Trump made Sean like watch?
Oh God.
It's like Sean.
Yeah,
come here.
Sean is involved
Can you
in some
imagine?
way.
Okay, your boss makes you watch him have sex, but your boss is also Donald Trump. Oh God. All right,
Sean, come here.
Well, on that
this.
amazing
Oh, God.
mental picture, we are going to end this episode, this late night edition of the Pseudoadult podcast.
Killed it. So for all 5 of you listening, thank you.
We'll see you hopefully next week.
Let's, Joey, got anything you want to plug?
Not really. Just follow me on Twitter as always at Archduke Tang.
I want to
Nikki.
plug a fork into a socket right now.
As
Same.
always, shout out to the homie Aubrey for giving us the dope mix for the intro, outros, and everything else. You can find a link to his SoundCloud in the links below. All right, gentlemen, that's it.
Hopefully we're alive in a week, guys.
Peace and blessings.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Laters.